Hey there again, this is Jeffini the Great. So glad you could join us today. Today's little video is going to talk about one of the other trick decks of cards in your Jeffini Magic card set. This is called the Amazing Stripper deck, or a Wizard Stripper deck. You'll often find that if you're looking to replace this down the road, you'll be able to find that. You have a whole book of 101 amazing magic tricks, and this little booklet explains everything you need to know about the deck of cards. But today, we're going to just take a look at it to give you a little better idea on the video. Now, one more time, I've written at the very top left corner, that's where I like to write it, an S and a T. That lets me know that's the stripper deck, so that I just make sure if I'm looking for a particular deck to use for a trick, I know which one it is. And I always want to keep my cards in that case, again, to protect them and to maintain good order of my cards. This also has a couple instruction cards right here that gives you the basic ideas of how this deck works. You can use that as well. I wouldn't leave those cards in your deck in case you're out doing some magic. You don't want to show them that, oh, here's the instructions to this trick I happen to have. For all intents and purposes, you want the audience to think this is a regular deck of cards, and essentially it is. You can show the deck of cards. You may want to get rid of the jokers. That's up to you. You can show them the deck of cards, that they're all different, all right? There's different ways to do that. You might want to just bring them across like that. And what happens is, I think I showed on the introductory video, is that you can take these cards, if you want to, and you can go ahead and have an audience member go ahead and choose out a card. So let's say they choose out this card, select that card. In this case, it's the 10 of hearts, all right? They can take that 10 of hearts, replace it into the deck anywhere they want to, and all you have to do, cut the cards a few times, yep, just a few times, like that, and maybe one more like that, and sure enough, you know what happens. You can find their chosen card simply and easily. Now, how is that done? Just like the Svengali deck, the stripper deck has taken the cards and altered them just slightly, just barely. It's done in a way that hopefully your audience won't notice, but you'll notice and you'll be able to tell where any card is if it's done properly. What they've done is they've taken this deck of cards and they've stripped it or tapered the card so that down at this end, it's narrower than it is at this end. A little wider up here. So narrow, wider on the long edge of the cards. Now they don't do anything to these ends. So if you put the cards down, they feel just right, okay? But if I were to take a card, again, the 10 of hearts, and if I were to take it and turn it around like this, and I put it into my deck, go ahead and try that now. Take any card, doesn't have to be the 10 of hearts. What you're going to learn is if you feel the side of the cards, that 10 of hearts is sticking out a little bit on one side. Now, it doesn't stick out on both sides because here it's tapered so that it's into the deck. Here it's tapered so it sticks out a little wider than the rest of the deck. And it's so wide, just barely, if I take my fingers, you might be able to see that. See the shadow, how that's sticking out? Take my fingers, I can just carefully, with the light fingers, I can pull that 10 of hearts out of the deck. Once I turn it back around, I can't feel a thing. I don't know where it is. So, when I'm doing my trick, I want to fan open the cards. I say choose a card, any card. They pull out any card they want to choose. At this point, it's the 10 of spades. But notice, I turned it around just by turning it over. If they take it and they look at it like this, you've got to keep your eyes on them to see how they're going to put it back in. If they're about to put it back in the same way, you just can't do it with one hand holding it. You just act like you're cleaning up the deck. Say, put that right back inside. Now, they put it back inside. And that card, because you turned the deck around, that card is now reversed from the rest of the deck. And barely may be able to see that on the video, I don't know, but you can sure see it when you do it with your own cards. That little card is sticking out, so you can carefully pull it right out of the deck. Now, a couple things about pulling it out of the deck. If you just do that, if you just reach down and pull it out and say that's your card, well, that's kind of magical, but you might want to do a little bit more to amaze them. You might grab where that card is, pull up a little bit so you have the whole packet of cards, put it down, and what you've just done is you've just cut the card to the bottom. Now that it's at the bottom, you can do a simple overhand shuffle without them seeing what you're doing, and now you've brought it to the top. You can even take that card that's on the top, and if you want to, reach back here and pull it out of your pocket. We'll show you how to do that in a future video. So right now, to begin with, just get the feel for sticking a card into the deck after you've turned it around. Get a feel for that and feel in a way so you can bring it out over and over and over. Practice that, okay? So that's today's lesson. We'll talk more soon. Have a great day.